Hey guys, today we are going to be reviewing the BB Return Expert Advisor for MT5. It's a currently active expert advisor on the MKO5 market, and it's a Bollinger Band mean reversion expert advisor designed specifically for trading gold on the 5 minutes time frame. Now before we proceed, we have something new on trading kernel called EA review. It's currently on desktop and mobile. So if you head over to trading kernel and you head over to the menu page, you're going to find something called EA review. So you can click on it and view detailed information of expert advisors, both currently available on trading kernel, on MKO5, and probably other platforms. So before you purchase an expert advisor, make sure to head over to trading kernel and view the full detailed review of this expert advisor. Let's head over back to the BB Return Expert Advisor. It's developed by this guy. I can't really pronounce this. It's currently built for MetaTrader 5. It was released on the 18th of January 2026. It's currently selling at $649. It has a kernel trust score of 2.5, and we're going to go over why I scored it a 2.5 out of 5. The current asset is gold, and the strategy type is mean reversion. So if you head over to the technical specifications, you can view all of the technical specifications here in a case where you intend to use this expert advisor. But let's head over to the strategy summary. This expert advisor uses a mean reversion strategy, as you can see here. So we are currently on the visualized backtest of this expert advisor, and we have an example of a trade here. So we have the Bollinger Band, we have the upper Bollinger Band, we have the mid BB, which is a moving average, I think the 28 period moving average, and we also have the lower Bollinger Band here. So you can see an instance whereby the price broke out of the upper Bollinger Band and it didn't place a trade here, and the BB Return Expert Advisor actually waited for the price to close back below the upper Bollinger Band before placing a trade. I think that's where it actually got the name BB Return from. So it waits for the price to return below the upper Bollinger Band or lower Bollinger Band before it places a trade, and it uses a hard SL and TP. I think the take profit is set at 450 points and the stop loss is set at 1,500 points. So 1,500 points above and 450 points below. This is where you have the TP. And in this case here, we actually hit a take profit on this trade. So it uses a hard TP SL approach and does not utilize any Martingale or grid technology, but it does use a loss recovery technology by multiplying the lots or risks on the next trade by 2. And we can see that from the visualized back test here. So if I head over to view and look at the toolbox here, so you can see from the profits column here that whenever we make profits and we make an equivalent of $3,000, whenever we lose money, we lose an equivalent of $11,000, right? And you can see the risk to reward is, I think, 3.4 to 1. And you can see here, for the case where we had a loss here, we used a lot of 7.71. As you can see on the next trade, the expert advisor actually multiplied that lot to I think 15.42 in order to hit double of what the initial profit was, and did that again as well before going back down to 3,500. And according to what the developer said in the comment section, this value doesn't increase from this, right? So it just remains at this double here, even if it makes a loss again. But however, it's still very risky. So we made an $11,000 loss here, and if we made another loss here, that's probably above $11,000. So it's going to put us in a very significant drawdown using this strategy. And this is what the overall backtest result looks like from 2023 down to 2026. And from my experience building expert advisors that are indicator based or use indicators like the moving average, the Bollinger Band, the RSI as primary conditions in the trading strategy, often tends to look good on backtest, even good on live accounts for a while. But over time, they tend to die. This is as a result of overfitting. And from my experience over the years from building strategies, I can tell you that this result here is currently overfitted. Now, overfitting in its sense is not a bad thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's like overspeeding, right? Sometimes if you're experienced or if you're lucky, you wouldn't crash, right? You could get away with it. But majority of the time, you end up crashing due to over speeding. Now, in this case, overfitting. And we can see some signs of that failure here in May 2026. And there are a lot of people commenting about these failures here from this expert advisor. So let's move over to the live signal analysis of this section. If you click on the live signal button, the live signal here, and as expected, it's currently profitable. But as you can see over time, it's beginning to have significant drawdowns, which is something that you could experience while using this expert advisor. I just want you guys to be aware of that, right? So let's look at the breakdown box. Let's look at some of the key strengths and key concerns about this expert advisor. For the key strengths, it uses a hard SL and TP, which is something that you could be confident about. So in case you want to reach 2% per trade, you could be sure that you're not going to lose 2% per trade. It also has a strong early live win rate, as you can see here. It takes just one trade per time. It works on any broker, and it has a very low sensitivity to spread because I believe it trades during the high volatility session. It also has an easy installation, so which means you don't necessarily need to change anything here. Although it comes with a chat background, which I actually don't even recommend because it takes up a lot of memory usage while using this expert advisor. So if you're going to be using this expert advisor, I actually recommend that you turn off that chat background and information panel. Okay, so let's look at some of the key concerns as well. It has a very low trading frequency, which sometimes could lead to long flat periods. Now, this is not a key concern for me, but I've noticed that this is a key concern for most traders who actually buy softwares from MQL5. They tend to expect you to have probably a moderate trade frequency, meaning that it often trades every day or twice every day. Then when they end up purchasing this expert advisor, they tend to complain about it. So if you're going to be using this expert advisor, I believe you should know this. It could have one trade in a day, one trade in 2 days, sometimes one trade in 3 days. Well, it also has the risks of overfitting and poor performance in strong trends, as you can see here. So whenever there is a trend, it's going to fail because it could come back and close below the Bollinger Band, and you're going to think that it's going to be profitable, but you end up losing money during strong trends. As you can see here, we bought here and we ended up losing money because of this trend. Okay, so it also has a high negative RR, which means whenever you make a loss, you actually need more than 4 trades or 4 trades to recover your loss, which I don't think is a good idea. Although the developer says there's a risk recovery, right, which means you could use 2 trades to recover your loss, but that also could lead to more losses, because if you have another loss after one loss, then you probably lose up to 10% if you're risking 3% per trade. But if you have another loss after one loss, it could even lead to a huge drawdown, right, which could be very bad if you're trading on a prop firm or even your own live account. And as you can see here, which is the 4th one bad trade can erase multiple wins and cause huge emotional impact on the trader. There's also a short live history, which means the result is just from the 1st of January up to date, right? So if this expert advisor continues to perform well at the same rate, which is actually not doing right now, but if it actually recovers from this and continues to perform well at the same rate up to probably next year, then it could be that this could be a good expert advisor to purchase for the long term. It also has a high price, which is $649 relative to typical indicator-based expert advisors, right? I honestly believe that expert advisors that use indicators such as the moving averages, the Bollinger Bands, RSI, all of these indicators should not be priced above $200. Maybe for the futures market, yes, right? You can sell expert advisors for the futures market at even probably $2,000, but for the forex market, you shouldn't price them at such high prices. So let's look at some of the notable critical reviews for this expert advisor. So users complain that whenever a stop loss is hit, it wipes out majority of the recent gains, which is not good emotionally for the trader. So imagine you have a week where you have consistent wins, right? 4 wins, and then the next week on Monday, one loss wipes out all your wins for the past week. However, if out of 100 trades, right, you have probably an 80 or 85% win rate, automatically that could be a good idea, right? So as long as you win on the long term, it doesn't matter your risk to reward, whether it's negative, whether it's positive, as long as you understand the risks, you actually see that risk play out, right? So you lose money sometimes, you make money sometimes, but you see that over time, even if you have a negative RR or positive RR, you end up making money using this expert advisor. At the end of the day, that's what matters. But we're not looking at scenarios whereby the expert advisor probably never hits that, and then when it does, it causes significant losses for the traders, right? So I'm pointing this out there to you because this is what other traders are actually complaining about. We also have some positive reviews as well, although I don't really believe in these positive reviews, because most of the time they are forced out of traders that purchase these softwares. But most users that give positive reviews are praising the EA for being disciplined, using clean logic without martingale or grid or any sort of risky technologies, although it does use one, which is the multiple of the second trade after a loss. It also has a very good backtest, which, like I said, has a high chance of being overfitted, but it does actually show a good concept of how you can actually use the Bollinger Band to trade. So let's look at the risk analysis. We've already talked about a lot on this, but I'm just going to add one thing. So if you look at the MT5 here, this is just the backtest result for 2026. We started at 100,000, and then we had a good month of profits, I think, from January. And as you can see in February here, just one loss alone sent us back to 100,000, 108,000. Right, you can see we had pretty high drawdowns here, right? And then we had a good period here. We had a huge drawdown here. So as you can see from the drawdowns here, it's actually very risky, especially considering the idea that this result could be overfitted and could fail sometime in the future, especially because it's using indicators as its primary conditions. It could fail, and if it does, you're going to probably lose a lot of money, especially when the markets start trending. Although it's not as risky as Martingale or grid expert advisors, where you could lose 100% of your money. Okay, so for prop firm suitability, we could recommend just trading on evaluation. For me, I wouldn't even use this expert advisor, because I believe that there are other automated strategies that are much better than this. However, if you have this expert advisor already and you're looking to use it, then one of the best places to use it would actually be an evaluation account, meaning there are periods whereby you can pass here. So for example, you could pass a phase 1 here, fail a phase 1 here, pass a phase 1 here, pass a phase 1 here, fail a phase 1 here. So you could pass, maybe you could have a 30% passing rate or a 40% passing rate. This is only for the phase 1. If you have a phase 1 and phase 2, just use this for the phase 1. Don't trade phase 1 and phase 2 using this expert advisor. And with all of this in mind, I actually gave this expert advisor a 2.5 rating, which I believe is actually fair for an indicator-based strategy. So day trading indicator-based expert advisors that uses hard SL/TP often look good on backtest and even live trading at the start, but end up performing poorly over time. We've seen this again and again, and this is one of the reasons why I often avoid using indicator-based expert advisors in my strategy development right now. But credits to developer for thinking about this concept. Like I said, it could be a good concept and it could possibly work in other markets, maybe the crypto market, maybe the futures market, but not in the CFD space. So if you actually bought this expert advisor and you've used this expert advisor, let me know what you think in the comment section. You can also head over to Trading Kernel and drop a review if you're currently a verified Trading Kernel customer. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope I give you a reason either to purchase or not to purchase this expert advisor. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.